Hi everybody, Sophia Garcia-Smith. This is, I teach second grade. This is my infographic for visual literacy. I did an infograph, which is on a skill that's really important in second grade. What do good readers do before they start to read? It also will tie into a graphic organizer that we use, that I would use these same symbols with, so that students could use the infograph as a reference when they are working on the graphic organizer. Let's get going. So our title is What Do Good Readers Do Before They Start to Read? I wanted to use something that was simple, and everything that I read, it continued to talk about how your font should be representative of the audience and the message that you are trying to portray. And everything that I read kept saying to use a simplistic font, especially for students that are beginning readers. And so this is a Futura medium simplistic font. It's easy to read. I did it in a bold type so that they could see that that was the title of this infographic. I also used this kind of greenish blue color, which was really kind of calming. Creative is what blue stands for. I didn't make it a solid blue as I felt it was a little too bold for what I was looking for. So the first two skills are preview and predict, and I did those. I balanced them out on this second part of the infographic because I wanted to make sure that students knew there were two important parts, the preview and the predict part. I used green. Green is nature, health, life, youth. I wanted them to realize that the two items on this slide were what they needed to accomplish while they were doing this task. And as we go through each part of the infographic, you'll see how these two things would tie in, giving them an idea of when I use those words, what does it mean and what do I expect from them. The first one is C. Again, I used blue. This time I used a different color blue. I wanted it to be a little bit visual for them. That's why I decided to use the glasses. Even for the students that are beginning readers and cannot maybe read all of this text, if they followed the picture clues on this, they would be able to understand the three things that I was looking for. So the first one is C. And for example, I put 3 examples on each one of my skills because I wanted students to have an idea of what I was looking for. So under C, I wrote, I see a ball, I see a forest, and I see a dog running. Now, again, this is before students are reading a text, so it is simply what are they seeing when they're doing their picture walk. Think. I used the light bulb because I think the light bulb was representative of their brains kind of clicking on, and sometimes we use let's turn on our thinking brains and let's turn on our thinking thoughts, and it helps the students prepare themselves for what that task is. And I did this in a yellowish orange color. The yellow and the orange mean warmth, happiness, playful. I wanted them to really use their imagination on what they think might be happening in the story. And again, in this part of the infographic, I used examples. I think the story is about a dog. I think the story takes place in a forest, and I think the dog wants to catch the ball. So it's part their opinion, but it's still tying in the dog, the forest, and the ball, which were the things that they saw. The last one is wonder. Again, I used a visual that was nice and bright, and it kind of had a gear in the head. I want them to start thinking about what are the questions that their brain keeps coming up with as they're reading. I used, again, 3 examples. Same thing with the first one about the dog, the forest, and the ball. So I wonder if the dog is by himself. I wonder if he lives in the forest. And I wonder if he catches the ball. These are the steps that I want the students to take before we start reading any text. I want them to start using their brains, start thinking, saying, and wondering about everything that we do. Thanks so much for visiting my infographic. I hope you enjoyed it.